Good morning. So I was just sitting here looking at my laptop, and I was listening. I wasn't listening to nothing. Something that I saw yesterday that disturbed my spirit, but I thought about the world that we live in, and it's very disheartening and it is unsettling. But why would Paul Harvey, good morning, why would he ever write something like this, you all? Why would he publish this, write this, if I were the devil? So if you haven't heard it, I want to read it. Good morning. If I were the devil, a warning to America from Paul Harvey. I'm sitting here in front of my fire. It's about went out. So let's read this, you all. Good morning, everyone. If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I would want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first, and I'd begin with a campaign of whispers with the wisdom of a serpent. I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old, I would teach to pray after me. Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized and I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting. Now, I don't know what the word lurid means, but it doesn't sound too nice to me. So that anything else would appear dull, uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I would peddle narcotics to whom I could, and I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction, and I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with the promise of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild until, before you knew it, you'd have two drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon, I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the House of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make symbols of an Easter egg and the symbol of a Christmas bottle. Of Easter, an egg and the symbol of a Christmas bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want until I killed the initiative of the ambitious. And what do you bet? I could get whole states to promote gambling as a way to get rich. And I would caution against extremes and hard work in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on the TV is the way to be. And thus, I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing. Paul Harvey, good day. Why do you think he would even write something like this? Was he telling people what would happen? Many years ago, a courageous and devoted American broadcast message to his listeners, Paul Harvey, that served as a harbinger for where the nation was headed society and culturally. And in his broadcast, he revealed what he would do if he were the devil: to destroy our culture and undermine our collective societal standards and social mores. That man was Paul Harvey, errant, known to the nation simply as Paul Harvey. And his message has not only proven to be prophetic, and his message not only has proven to be prophetic, but serves as a warning to Americans today of where our society continues to trend. And it's true. I think the Prince of Darkness, the whole world in darkness, and the whole world does feel like it's in darkness, you all. So somebody has a third of the real estate, I guess, and 4/5 of its population. He wouldn't be happy until he sees the people, and he would set to take over the United States. He'd subvert the churches. It's true. Some people do believe Bible is a myth, and man created God instead of the other way around. And what is good is bad, and what is bad is good, all of it. Then he got organized. The devil will get organized and educate authors to make lurid literature exciting. I'm not sure what the word lurid means. Let me type in the word lurid. You won't see me in here because I got my phone sideways. Lurid. What does lurid mean? Oh, it's pleasing. Okay. Very lurid and very vivid in color, especially so as to create an unpleasantly harsh or unnatural effect. Explicit details. Gruesome, horrible, revolting. Okay, it's kind of lurid. All right, you all, that's what it is. Good morning. So they've got that. And let me see. TVs, yes. Dirtier movies on TV, more sexually implicit, crime-ridden, violence, and all of that. And narcotics, there is a narcotics problem and stuff like that. And if I were the devil, let's see. I don't know how long ago he wrote this. He'd have families at war with themselves. And it's true, it is. Churches at war with themselves. Yes, absolutely. If you go to one church, you are going to be at war with another church, because if you don't believe the way that they believe, then you are not going to heaven. If you read from a different Bible than they read from, then you are going to hell. Nations at war with themselves, it's true, until its turn was confused. Higher ratings, mesmerizing with the media, fanning the flames. I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, neglect to discipline their emotions, let them run wild. I guess there are drug sniffing dogs at schools and metal detectors. How did he know this long ago, you all? I just wonder, how did he know this? Within a decade, the prisons would be overflowing. The judges promoting pornography, I don't know about that, but I know there's lots of things that promote it. I would evict God from the courthouse. I think that might have happened. And then from the schoolhouse, I think that might have happened. And then from the houses of Congress. And in his own church, in his own churches, I would substitute psychology. We see a lot of that for religion. And deify the science. What's deify? Take out the deity. I don't know, deify science? I don't know. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls. I think that happens. And church money, well, they do blow their money. They do. Christmas and stuff. I would take from those who have, and I would give to those who want until I killed the incentive to be ambitious. I think we have seen that. I really have. There might be more of that. And we do have states promoting gambling as a way to get rich. You got the lottery and all that. Extremes at work, hard work and patriotism. Yes, that is a big no-no. You are not to show patriotism, and you're not to be really real moral, because that's considered bad now. It really is. It's considered bad to be patriotic, and to be of good character. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned. Yes, that is true. They do feel that way. Not the majority. Swinging is more fun. Sleep with whoever you want and stuff. Yeah, it's true. And TV is the way to be. What you see on TV. Yeah, they do have role models on TV. I would undress you in public if I could. Yes, there are people who walk around in their bras and panties, and they walk around naked and in their thongs and stuff like that. And you can see it on the TV also. You could lure into bed with diseases. Yes, there are diseases with no cure. If I were the devil, I would just keep right on doing what I'm doing. So whenever that was written, I don't know, but I'm wondering how on earth could this man think all of this stuff that would happen in America and write it down and then it play out, is what I'm wondering. How is that possible, you all? Really. I'm going to try to do this camera around, but it's not a good view of me, you all. If I can reverse this. No, see, it's not that good of a view of me, but I know it's not about me, but I just wonder how. How did he know that kind of stuff, you all? Really, how did he? That it was going to happen, because it is going to happen. And if someone's watching this say it doesn't happen, none of that's happened. How long ago did he write it if it didn't happen? When was it written is what I want to know. When was it written? If he were the devil. If I were the devil. If I were the devil. Now, Paul Harvey, let's see when he read it, you all. Wrote Paul Harvey. I don't even know. I used to hear him on TV or on the radio late at night. When did he write it? When was it written? Does anybody? Oh, in 1965. Was that when it was written? I guess so. Why was that written in 1965? Really? This is the radio transcript, you all. Words of wisdom. And I'm sure if there is a such thing as a devil or a dark entity, which there is very dark entities, they they were talking about black clouds. I was looking at black clouds, and they described the black clouds. There's also black cloud people, and it's a very negative entity and demonic entities. And it's like how you see a black aura on somebody. If you have an ability to read their auras, you can see this like black cloud-like aura around them. That's they said was like it's a sapient, some kind of sapience negative entity. If I Were the Devil in 1965. Yeah. So I know that this is not popular, you all, but this is how could he translate? Where did these words come from? Look at this. An essay that postulates what steps the devil might take in order to corrupt human civilization. It postulates. What does Snopes.com have to say? If I were the devil. Well, look at that grin. It's a claim, they say. It is a claim. It's a mixture. Its origin. It's a form of social criticism that postulates what steps the devil might take in order to corrupt human civilization and the United States and lead it down the path of darkness. Before delivering the catch that all steps listed are phenomena that are already taking place in the world today, it was written and popularized by the national radio commentator and syndicated columnist Paul Harvey, who from the mid-1960s onward featured in both media many times over the course of his long career, periodically updating it to incorporate the current trends. Oh, wow. So he's done all of this. I guess you can go to Snopes. I guess they've got things. In an odd twist, and the reason this item is rated as a mixture, one of the most widely internet circulated versions of If I Were the Devil as reproduced is not from Paul Harvey, and it is clearly inspired by this in the spirit of Harvey's essay with the same, and it bears no textual resemblance to the original, which is similar to its structured theme, and it appears not on any line. So this one, somebody made up this other one that dupe the schools, delude their minds, promote the attitude of loving things and using people, get control of the media so every night I could pollute the minds of the families, compel people to express their most deepest fantasies and their most depraved fantasies. So this is supposed to be not written by Paul Harvey, but this one was in 1964 news column. To the young, I would get them organized. So contrasting, we find another concept of structure, you all. So there you have it. This is, I don't know, you all. So it's weird. It really is weird, and I don't like it. I don't like it, but it's interesting. Nonetheless, if I were the devil, you all, and I'm not the devil, and you're not the devil, and it's not. You look how this camera does, and I can't get my hand out of this. It does not, just because some people label others like it says in here doesn't make it so, even though it does. Everything that's in that thing has happened. I am going to go, you all. I'm going to go. I don't like showing my face on here like that, but still. Yeah. Somebody is, you've been called the incarnation of Lucifer more than once, and it was horrifying. I think it's the devil jealous of me. Yeah. Well, there's lots of things going on in our world, you all, but this right here, Look, I would gain control of the most powerful nation in the world, and I would delude their minds into thinking they had come from man's effort. Yeah. Okay, you all, so it's neat. It's very interesting um, where those words of his came from. It really is interesting. You can type it in. You can look into it yourself. It's mind-boggling. It really is. So, with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Y'all, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, you all. I know they're severely blocking the traffic to my channel again, and I think other channels experience it too, because if you're considered to whatever you, yeah, that's all I'm going to say, you all. I think the devil's in the something, you all, whatever they say it is. The devil's in the something. Some people say that the devil is just like made up and that it doesn't exist. We'll just call him we'll just refer to him as the darkness. The darkness is real, and it's a negative entity, a negative energy. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, you all. Thank you.